Welcome to the Deliberation, where we decide the top 12. Personally, I think the quality is really high this round because I actually only had 2 hard no's. The rest were so hard for me to let go.
Yeah, I had that same problem. I started with 17 yeses, and then I whittled down to 15, then 14, and then I begrudgingly got rid of 2. I put 2 in the no category, very begrudgingly, so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mark is there like, all of you suck.
Yeah, I start with 8 yeses. I think the main reason for that is some of my maybes and no's from round 2 end up progressing through, getting a couple of yeses from you guys, and still hadn't managed to do enough to change my opinion. Plus, a few of the guys that I was really into for rounds 1 and 2 end up putting in fairly disappointing entries this time, in my opinion. But we'll get into that very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why don't we start off with the 2 Lewis Capaldi entries? So Christopher and Claire both took it on. Both took some very different takes on it. Picked different parts of the track as well. And I had 1 yes and 1 no come out of that one.
Ooh, who was the yes and who was the no? Or I guess we'll see that.
Yeah.
But no, now I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, well, from the 2 entries, so that song massively overplayed here in the UK. I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys as well, but to me it's not actually the best song going, and the thing that makes it powerful is the sort of vocal breakup that you get from a male voice trying to take it on, which Christopher was able to deliver really well. Claire avoided that big part completely, which is a big issue for me in terms of that's the part that makes the song what it is in the first place.
Okay, that's kind of interesting because I liked both of them in different ways. I couldn't say one was better than the other. They made it their own in a way.
Yeah, I kind of liked them both.
Claire to me has an absolutely amazing voice. She just needs to learn how to mix properly, so she should contact the mentors and read the tips. And Christopher
I kind of liked them both.
Has great distortion in his voice and power. To me, it was just different styles. I didn't think one was better than the other. See,
I'm kind of leaning a little way from you guys where, he thought Chris was really good and you thought they both were really good. I liked them both, but at the same time, I think Chris pushed a little too hard in some places and sounded really strained. And Claire did a really good job, but she's cutting herself off at the end phrases and pinching off some of those notes, which kind of throws her off key a little bit. So I liked them. I just wasn't in love with them for that song.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we'll discuss more of this in the voting part. So let's move on. One that I really think we need to talk about is Zeniba, because I don't know what happened this round. It was like she forgot to change the key of the instrumental because it was extremely off key. I mean, the instrumental was in one key and then she sang in another key. So always listen to the song before sending it. And if she did send it, then it's just very worrying, because if she didn't hear this, she was that off pitch. How can she go on?
Yeah, I should have stuck with my original instinct, which was that she needed more training before we let her move on. I said that in my previous notes.
But she was good last round though.
I mean, and even in both rounds, in her original entry and then in the last round, I did say that I'm a little worried she might need more training. So, I should have stuck with that instinct.
What was that harmony? The harmony, it was just like an afterthought thrown in that didn't work and was so timid that it just didn't. There's no conviction behind it, and you don't want to add a harmony in just for the sake of saying you've done it. You either need to use it properly or just sack it off completely, because it just exposes you so much.
Yeah, and it's such a shame because she has such a mature voice that it's very pleasant to listen to, but is she tone deaf or did she just not care?
I don't know. She wasn't this bad in the last round. I mean, the last round she did okay. This round, it was just, this one, I don't know what happened in this one. It's like maybe she got sick like I am or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I was going to say something mean, but maybe I shouldn't. I was going to say it was pretty suiting that she sung a song by Train, if you get what I mean. No.
Train wreck.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That's the sort of thing I'd say, come on.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I'm stealing your thunder. Okay, so let's move on from poor Siniba here. What did we think about Heather? I think she has such an amazing strong voice. I love her distortion this round, and her tempo has improved, so she has improved already. She is actually far more memorable to me now than she was in her audition, which Andrea pointed out. But my only worry, and this is nothing to do with her singing actually, is that I'm a little bit worried she might not be able to handle criticism as well as she needs to, from a few things I've read on Discord.
See, I don't really, I haven't read as much as I sometimes will peek in and out, but I haven't really read anything she said. I actually kind of thought that she still wasn't really on tempo this time. I thought there were still some parts where it seemed like she was kind of racing to catch up or getting a little ahead of herself again. I don't know, maybe that was just me.
Yeah, but I think it was much better than last round.
Oh, it's better. Yeah, it's much better, but she still has the tempo issue.
But maybe it was a smart song choice for her because this was a song that doesn't have a clear tempo. I mean, it's a very swingy, so she can do a lot with the tempo here.
It would have been a smart song choice if she used it properly, but there's parts when the instrumental really picks up and goes big, and it's a golden opportunity to go and belt something out, and she just hasn't. We don't get that until the final 5-10 seconds, and it's kind of opportunity lost by that point.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that the song was too big for her, it's just that she didn't take it on until right at the end.
Yeah, I kind of agree. At the end, she caught it, but it was building up to the end that kind of took a little bit.
There's a point about 20-30 seconds in where the instrumental really picks up and you kind of go with it and then belt the notes out, and it didn't come. We saw it right at the end, but you need to follow the dynamics of the instrumental. It's the whole point of making cover and just being a singer in a big band kind of situation.
Yeah, well, oh no. How's the voting
well, we'll
go?
see what happens at voting.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Scott?
I was actually blown away by his song choice and by his execution, because this was not even his voice. He showed a really high voice and a musical kind of voice. I was not expecting that from him. And he had less strain in his voice this time. And as you know, I actually believe in him so much, but I'm not sure I believe in him for Next Top Singer 2019, because I still have that feeling that he may need to develop a bit more before he's ready to really win a competition like this.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of versatility from him. We've seen a couple of things from him already, and then he goes and busts out a musical, which is, again, well executed, I think. Phantom was the first musical that I'd seen on the West End, actually, so it's got a special place in my heart, and I think he did a good job of it. Not flawless, and that's something that, as we get into later stages and we're talking top 12 and beyond, you have to tighten those bits up. But again, generally I'm on board with what Scott's bringing.
Wow.
Yeah, there were some pitch issues though.
Wow.
So what did you think, Andrea?
Okay, now I have a huge love for Phantom of the Opera. I mean, Michael Crawford is my idol when it comes to singing. I adore Michael Crawford. You know, he's one of my top phantoms in the world. And back when I could sing, because, you know, I've lost, ever since my pulmonary embolisms, I've kind of lost my voice from all my health issues, so I don't sing that much anymore. But I actually did Christine in Phantom of the Opera. And so when I saw that he was doing Music of the Night, I was just like, oh, damn, yes, I love this song. And I just wasn't blown away at all. I mean, I really love that lift on the higher notes. I really did love it. But the rest sounded kind of grainy and a little gritty, and I don't know. I mean, it was such a huge song. It was a huge risk, and I really give him credit for that. But did I get those chills that I got the first time I heard Michael Crawford sing it? Or, you know, did it make me reminisce about when I actually got to perform in the show? I don't know. I don't think so. So I don't know if it worked for me.
Yeah, it's not easy to impress a former professional musical theater actress.
Actually, it is. I'm pretty easily impressed. That's a sad thing.
I don't believe you.
That's why I had 18 yeses before I had to try to trim them down.
Yeah, but I can actually see what you're saying, because it was kind of shaky in the low notes especially.
Yeah.
And also pitchy. And when I say I was blown away, I was mostly surprised because I wasn't expecting it. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, see, and here's my thing, and maybe this has kind of tainted my opinion a little bit, I don't know, but I was looking back at my old notes from like the very first time I heard him sing, and then the last round that we heard him sing, and I'm comparing my previous notes, and every note that I wrote, in fact, I still have where it says, I think he might need a little bit more training before he carries on, and in this one I said, I still think that he might need more training before carry on, but I really do like his voice, and I think he's got a really great bass talent there, but I'm not sure he's ready, and I'm still stuck at that exact same. I think he's got a really great voice. I think he's got a lot to work with, and I think he could be awesome. I just don't think he's ready, and I'm stuck at that every episode so far.
Yeah,
so.
I agree with you actually.
Yay!
For once. And Mark's there like, no,
you're both wrong.
A couple of original songs got put in, and first off, props to you guys for putting your music out there and using this as an opportunity. A lot of credit has to be given to that, and I have to say, from those two tracks that we heard that were originals, some really, really good stuff as well. But I think one word of caution, particularly going towards Kofi, I mean, there are stack loads of artists, if you go through history, that have put out tracks where they're catchy, they work in a pop format, and you don't have to be a real vocal talent to pull them off, which is fine. But for what's essentially a singing competition, that ain't always going to fly. And I think that's the problem. His original song, very catchy. It definitely has something in a commercial sense, but doesn't allow him to showcase what he can do vocally.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I see. I was kind of torn between two of the original entries, but I do like the entries. I did like one a little bit better than the other.
And which was that? Say the right
You know
name.
what? I liked Kofi's a little bit better.
No, are you kidding me?
Yes. No, I'm not.
I gotta talk about Emma. Hey guys, she sounded so amazingly ethereal, but only after a lot of editing, I'm gonna admit, because I needed to do a lot of editing to make the quality bearable.
See, you know what? It was the editing that actually pushed me to like end up with Kofi's, because now I could hear her. But the first time when she sent it in, I couldn't hear her. I mean, literally, it was so quiet. I could barely hear a whisper of a voice. But then when you got the edit so that I could actually really hear it and it came out really like, strong, that's when I'm just like, oh, I love the song she wrote. The song she wrote is beautiful, and she's got a very nice voice. I just don't think she did very well getting this prepared for entry.
No, I completely disagree with you there, because it had so much emotion, and I was actually really blown away by her writing skills and by her transition from her chest voice to her head voice. That was actually my favorite entry this round, only because it had so much emotion. Yes,
I flip-flopped on this one. It started off with me within the space of about 20 seconds writing no in capital letters and then moving on, mainly because of mic quality straight away hit me as an issue, and then she was sort of not really hitting the notes. There wasn't a lot of clarity or articulation. It was just sort of floating around it, and then I came back and listened to it again and gave it more of a chance, and there is definitely some things in there. It's kind of like a haunting quality to it. It's tough. It's a real tough one with Emma, because I shot her down so heavily in week 2 because of the Billie Eilish cover, which gave us absolutely nothing. Still, I think there's some questions about what her abilities are, even with this entry, but I'm starting to see some potential now, and it's really exciting. But I think still a lot of issues that need ironing out, and the entries that come in the future, if she progresses, need to be of higher quality, production-wise, mic quality-wise. Otherwise, it's going to get shown up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying there. She definitely needs to work on her audio quality, because I'm gonna show the original to the listeners so they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I
the editing that I did only works for ukulele songs, but is she gonna do that for the whole competition? That's not going to work. And also she needs to work on her enunciation and on her control on her lower notes, because it was quite shaky. But despite those issues, it gave me really a lot of emotion and ethereal quality in her voice, and it was so... Andrea!
Throw this phone away.
Yeah, but anyway, I also want to have high quality in this show, so I definitely see what you're saying there. But I was still able to make it sound great in my opinion, so the quality isn't a huge issue at this point for me. But yeah,
I don't know.
Higher quality would be preferable, of course.
See, I love the song. And I like Emma. I think she's got a very pretty voice. I just didn't hear what you're hearing. And maybe it's because I was already starting to get sick. I don't know. But I didn't hear what you're... I didn't hear what you're hearing, so I don't know. We'll see how voting goes. We'll see.
I always compare her to Andrea from season 3 and 4, but now I actually think she has something very special. So I'm gonna fight to death about her.
Hey, there's always those stars out there just in case. You never know.
Yeah, but I only have one. I don't want to use it. I want you to agree with me.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You never know.
Let's move on to Nathaniel. I think he gave us a very nice intro to what could have been an amazing entry, because he has a very beautiful voice, but I was kind of waiting for that big note that I've heard in other versions of this song, because why else would he pick it? Because he has a big voice, so he needs to make better choices about which part of songs he's gonna give us, and also what range and how much power he's gonna give us, because this was kind of not very dynamic at all. But obviously he still has a very amazing voice, so I liked it still.
I think maybe that was a conscious decision, because personally I didn't like what he did with the phrasing on it, but I can see what he's trying to do and trying to put his own spin on things, and he did a really good job of that, and it was well executed. Just because it wasn't to my taste doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to shoot it down, but I think he just put a different slant on the track, and maybe that was why the big notes that you would expect kind of fell by the wayside, because the whole mood of it had shifted, and that I think takes a fair amount of talent in itself to be able to take on, and also quite a bit of bravery for such a well-known song. I mean, for me, it impressed me. I maybe wouldn't go out and buy it as a single if he released it, because it's not my kind of thing, but I see what he's trying to do.
Okay.
I am a big fan of Ray, but this really fell flat for me because there was not enough energy in this song. It was a bit timid. Ben Platt has a lot of energy when he sings this song. He has great vibrato and runs, and she didn't give much of that. But she's got a very beautiful voice. It was on key and it was nice, but I still think it was the wrong song choice, or it was poorly executed. And she also needs to make the sound quality better. Maybe learn about mixing. It's gonna be a big help, because I think that was also a big part of the issue.
Yeah, I just think I'm wondering if the contestants are utilizing the help that we gave them. You know, we put things about mixing on Discord. They have people that they can turn to ask questions if they wanted to. So there's a few people out there who know a little bit about mixing that they could reach out to, and I just wonder if they're utilizing any of the resources, or if they're just, fingers crossed and hoping for the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, are they using any of our coaches at all, or that's...
Well, I have actually talked to the mentors, and they have said that only a couple people have reached out to them. So
yeah,
people, please,
you can tell
reach out to them. You don't know how much help you can get, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I could tell that are not reaching out to the mentors or reading any of the advice that's been posted, and I really think you guys got to start doing it, especially as we get towards the end of the season. So yeah,
so I actually only have one left that I really need to talk about, and that is Gabriel, because I kind of feel like you misinterpreted me last round, because that whole section, that wasn't actually a case against Gabriel, that was more a case for Nico, because I actually like Gabriel, I always have, and I loved this because he had more power and vibrato this time, so he has more to his voice this time, so I think this entry really saved him for me.
Wow, we are not on the same page this week at all. And usually it's you and me against Mark. It's usually us against him, and now it seems like it's me against you. Because I know for him, exam week was really stressful, and I could hear it in his voice this round, and I actually thought the first half reminded me of the old Gabriel, though he did kind of pick up towards the middle. But yeah, he really reminded me back of the old Gabriel from the previous season instead of the new Gabriel, who's shown so much improvement this time. So maybe, what does Mark think?
Yeah, that missed by a mile. I think the entry was about as rushed as his timing was throughout most of that, and I didn't know the original. I listened back to it afterwards, and it just kind of shows how far off the mark it was. I still maintain what I've been saying throughout this season, in that he, as a singer, and the voice that he has is infinitely better than what I was seeing last time around, and I can see that improvement. But on this particular week, he just didn't deliver for me.
Okay, well, you guys always talk about how much dynamics Gabriel has. I didn't think he showed dynamics at all last round. He did it this round, so I don't really see how.
See, and I'm the opposite. I thought he was more dynamic last round than he was this round.
No.
This round, he just reminded me of the old Gabriel. He sounded stressed. And again, he was really stressing out over exam weeks. And to me, I could hear that in his voice. There was almost this like panicked, like second guessing himself, and like he picked up towards the middle. He started to sound a little bit more like the Gabriel I started hearing this season. But in that first half, it was definitely old Gabriel and a little bit more of a stressed Gabriel. I just didn't hear that what you heard this time around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think it has something to do with his mic? Because I also read that his mic broke.
I don't think it was the mic. It sounded more like stress. It was more of a, I don't know, his voice just seemed like he was more tired, and he was more, it sounds more like an anxiety than a mic thing for me.
Oh wow, we are really not on the same page today.
No, we're not. Mark, do you have anything else to add to this little mix?
Yeah, this isn't necessarily, well, it's a trap that Gabriel's fallen into, but it's a trap that I think a lot of contestants have fallen into since I've done this, when it comes down to Korean and Japanese music, because a lot of the people that take it on, it's not their first language. And the big problem with a lot of this type of music is there are so many syllables thrown into one thing altogether, and it's a bit rushed. And when that happens with the style of music and it's not your first language, it's very easy to then stumble over it and either get behind on the timing or rush it. And I think that's something that we saw from him. His timing was off in this, and it's the same thing that I see all the time. I think you kind of have to stick to what you're comfortable with rather than what you like again.
Yeah, that's a valid point. It's more important to actually be able to execute it properly than to sing something you like.
Yeah, this is going to be another one. We'll have to wait and see the votes.
Yeah, so let's move on to the votes then. So we're going to post them at the same time again. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm not going to hit. Okay, I'm afraid to, because you're going to be mad. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Wait.
I'm too short on my yes column, but I honestly couldn't find anyone to upgrade.
No.
What?
Ooh, Mark, you said yes to Emma. Thank you. Thank you. Jesus.
Okay, I can play the bad guy on that one for this round, I guess.
Yeah, well, okay, let's see.
It can be blame Andrea.
Let's see how many votes each person got. Yeah, you're short on your yes list, Mark, but I guess we're just gonna have to decide more from the 2 and 1 vote pile then.
I think the problem I had is that a lot of my no's were no's for me last time out, but they got through on the 2 yes things, so I wasn't that keen on them to begin with.
Okay. Well, some of them have changed my mind, at least.
I think I've got too many to save and not enough stars here.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. We already have 12 in the 3 and 2 vote pile. So do we really need to discuss more? Oh, well,
it depends. Does anybody want to use a star?
Replace someone.
If one of those maybe gets upgraded to a yes, we've got a couple in the 2 votes, we'll have to try and choose.
I'm not too unhappy with the end result.
Yeah, not me either. The only one that I'm losing is Gabriel for Megan. But then again, I liked 17 of them, so I don't really need to pursue that any further.
And I feel bad about losing losing Gabriel because he's shown so much improvement this season, and it was, I don't know,
you
but
guys
like
surprised me.
He seems to be falling back into the old ways, and I don't know if that was just stress from, like I said, his exam week. So I don't know if I don't necessarily know if I want to lose him this week or not. I was kind of hoping you guys would both kind of vote him in.
Well, there's one issue that I kind of have to throw in, and I will, full disclosure, the main reason that I'm suggesting this now is I've got 2 that could potentially be deserving of a star, and I've only got 1 to use. So 2 yeses for Ray, but the last 2 performances she's put in have been so hit and miss over the course of the entry. At some point she misses the mark so much and then pulls it back and hits a few good notes at the end of it. While Scott's performances throughout, he's shown us a bit of rock, he's shown us a bit of musical theatre, he's shown us a little bit of a country thing. I think it might have been the second time out, I can't remember. He's got to have a versatility, and we're not pulling him up on any glaring errors in the entries that he's putting in. I'm a little surprised to see him only getting 1 yes.
Well, he was a maybe for Petri,
for me,
which is why, like I said, I'm surprised because you were so gung-ho for him, and you were like so surprised about me.
No, I actually said I was blown away by his song choice.
Oh, by the song choice.
I wasn't necessarily blown away by his performance throughout. I mean, I was blown away by his high note. I really didn't expect that, but 1 high note doesn't really qualify the top 12 if the rest of the entry was not fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really hard when I like 17 of them.
Yeah, I know. Like Kofi, I can't believe that I'm the only one who said yes to Kofi. I actually liked the entry.
I did vote him in first because I think he has a really unique voice, but at the same time it was not very dynamic and all sung at the same level, so
see,
it wasn't the best song choice for a competition. He's a great songwriter, but
I still think it was a little bit above Emma though, like performance-wise for me.
No, Emma was my favorite this round, so yeah, but I'm glad I didn't have to fight for her.
And then for me on Kofi, he was one of those 2 yeses. He was a no from me week 2, and then week 3 he comes and brings out a good entry, I'll give you that, but it doesn't reveal anything to me to change my opinion on how well he can compete in a singing competition, which is why he's in the 1 vote pile for me.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was kind of surprised that you gave a yes to Emma in the end, Mark, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, because on the face of the entry that she put in, it probably wasn't good enough, and I wasn't keen on what she put in week 2 because it's Billie Eilish. How are you going to get someone's singing ability from that? But there's enough in there to show potential that we might have something special here if she can capture the best parts of that entry and bring it forward and put that into a whole 2-minute entry going forward. It's a risk, and I may well end up when we look at this next time around and say, yeah, okay, I shouldn't have done that, but it's just seeing the potential of something that could be amazing if it is nurtured.
Do you have a case for someone then to be replaced?
Yeah, I've already made it. I don't think Ray should be getting into the top 12 when she can't put in a consistently good performance. If it's...
Yeah, but when she gets guidance on mixing and more guidance on singing techniques from the mentors, then I think she can really raise, because I think she had one of the best auditions. And when I say audition, I always talk about the first audition, just so I'm clear.
Yeah.
And then she's posted 2 entries since then where you can pick out 30 seconds to a minute that are just terrible. Like, they're not anything conducive to a good performance. Week 2 was terrible. The first 30 seconds, 45 seconds was awful. And then she pulls it back at the end and was supposed to say, right, okay, yeah, you can get in the top 12 for that.
I said very green voice. There's something under the rawness, but she'll need a vocal coach. She's learning about proper tempo and picking a proper song. That was the first round. The second round, let's see if I can find her here again.
Yeah, Mark, I said I wasn't super thrilled about her entry this round.
Yeah.
I mostly voted with my heart because I do like her voice, but if we're not putting her in, then who? That's my problem.
Yeah, I think he wants Scott.
But do you think he's ready though?
Well, he's delivered 3 entries that have been good, and he's shown us 3 different genres that he can take on. So for the type of competition where we have different rounds, different genres, where you have to be adaptable, then yeah, he's competition ready.
But did he take them on well?
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I just don't think I like the song choice. I like the risk he took. I do love that high note that he did, but the rest of it just sounded so strained to me. And Music of the Night is not a song that you can really strain. It's supposed to be light and airy and romantic and mystical because he's hypnotizing Christine as he's singing, and I just didn't get that.
And like I said, I do get why you like him, Mark, because I believe in him so much, but I'm just not sure he's ready now.
Out of the two, if I'm putting them side by side, Scott's got versatility, and we're not picking up points of his entry where they're awful and they're wide of the mark. Maybe they need to work in it, or he needs to work it a bit more. Then fair enough. But that, I think, being adaptable and showing versatility is something to get you top 12. If you are going with someone like Ray who needs a lot of work and can't deliver a minute and a half, 2 minutes of good quality.
How about replacing Megan then? Because to me, I think she has quite a nasal voice, or there is something in her voice that sounds not open enough. I still think her audition was her best entry, so I don't think she's improving. And I'm wondering, is she still sick, or is this just her voice? I mean, I like it, but is it top 12 against the others? That's my issue.
Out of interest, did you listen to the Norah Jones original from week 2?
No.
So Megan was she's taken the original and she's made it better.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to that. I promise.
Yeah, Megan is my hard yes. I can't lose Megan. That's one thing I can't do.
Yeah,
I think the problem I have with her from this week compared to the last entry is that she maybe pitched the vocal a bit too high, because she's got that upper register, which is what made the entry last time out so much better, because she had that and she delivered it better than the original artist did. But the thing that also set that off is because she had the lower register, which is where the song she was covering actually would have been better off sitting, and then she could have moved up and thrown the extra bit in. So I think the issue she had this time out is how she pitched it, but she can still sit in that register. It's just that we missed that lower part that sort of gave us the dynamic last time out.
We could trade Gabriel for Emma.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. Okay.
Oh.
Let's just end this before you do something crazy.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the end of deliberations. Let's go to the pub.
Okay.
To the pub.
See you there.
Let's get a beer.
Thanks for listening. See you soon with the result. All credits are in the description. Don't forget to rate, comment, share, and subscribe.